What's up, y'all? Just want to give you a little background story behind my new single, We Did It, produced by my man DJ Speed. And that's really where I'm going to start. I mean, shout out to Hype Call too, produced by Pro Sound, my man Hype Beast with the same team. But gotta give it up for DJ Speed for the beat first. And the cool thing about that beat is that it's got such a big sound. That's what Speed does so well, is that it's like an anthem sound to it. Kind of in the vein of Just Blaze or Kanye West or something that somebody like Jay-Z would rap over. Dr. Dre does that so well on the West Coast. But to me, I felt like this beat is something I could play all over the world as well. And that's an important thing for me too. That's one of the things I appreciate from rocking a crowd in Taiwan to rocking a crowd in Amsterdam to rocking a crowd in Miami, is that I want beats, I want music that I feel can work anywhere. So first off, I was like, I like this beat. And especially now with hip hop, the way the sound is too, I felt like it can be old, it can be new, it can be in the future. Because I remember when Lonzo Ball said, nobody listens to Nas anymore. And I was like, that's blasphemous. How can you blast the God? But then I realized, maybe he does have a point. And I'm in so many schools and kids tell me their favorite rapper is Lil Uzi Vert. And I'm not dissing that. That's what they listen to. That's fine. But at the same time, I think that this is the type of record that those kids can also like. Because it's not like they only like the trap sound. So I was like, okay, I got the dope beat. Now, the rapper in me, the old rapper, I shouldn't say the old rapper, the young rapper in me might have been like, let's write some rhymes to it. Let's write some rhymes. But the seasoned artist that I am now, I recognize the songwriting to a song. So for me, the next step after you have the beat is a concept. So I'll write some rhymes, I'll come up with some concepts, but nothing was fitting for a couple of months, which is fine with me because I like to let the music kind of grow organically. I like my music to kind of reflect parts of my life. And so this part wasn't part of my life, but I was sitting at home watching the NBA Finals. A terrible NBA playoffs this year, right? But the one thing that did stick out is the end of it, is when the Golden State Warriors won the championship. Kevin Durant got up there and they said, is there anything you want to say? He was winning the NBA Finals award. And he said, we did it. We did it. Now, he was talking about his mom. And I thought that was cool too, because it wasn't like I just made it, but Mom, you provided me with this opportunity. And then it's not just him and his family, it's him and his team. And hip hop a lot of times talks about, I'm the man, I did it by myself. And I don't agree with that concept. Like, it's cool to wild out and dance with that and jam with it, but I don't really agree with that concept. So I said to myself, that resonates with me. And it resonated with me because I'd just come back from a couple of really cool trips. In May, I went to Netherlands for New School Rules, and I helped organize a Canadian mission. So we were rolling deep. A lot of cool rappers, older rappers, younger rappers. And then the next month, I went out to France, and I was in the south of France, in Cannes, for Midem. And again, I put on a showcase with a lot of talent. And the thing about those shows are, it's not about being the best. It's not really, like, because there's so many different styles that people gravitate to one style, another style. But I just remember standing back in the crowd, and I do this from time to time nowadays, and I don't have to be on stage to feel like I'm part of it, right? And so I say we did it because we did it collectively, us, a team, and that's hip hop. That's about your crew. That's about your clique. I mean, right now, I got boys out in Asia. I got them out in Taiwan. I got my mans over in Europe. I don't want to single out names because there's multiple. I got people in the U.S. that are tight. This is fam. And so it's just cool to see a crew and collective of people all over doing it. And so to me, it's we did it. And it's that celebration vibe. And so I wanted to inject that in the song. So yeah, we did it. I got the concept now. And I was like, maybe that could work with that beat, right? So now I'm playing the beat. And I'm like, okay, feeling it. And maybe I should I'll throw on a beat in the background right now. We did it. Instrumental. There we go. Just put it down a little. maybe a little bit more. So, because right at this point, as I'm bobbing to it, I'm like, I just kind of feel like we did it. We did it. And right there, I was like, that would be a good one. Like, that's how we could vibe to it. But then I'm like, it needs a little bit more to it. I don't want to just say we did it. So at that point, I said to myself, okay, I don't want to be a king, you know. And so much of hip hop is about being, again, the king, being the man. And to compare it to basketball, I think it's like when you break in the league. So if you see a rookie, or if you could think of a guy who's just come into the NBA, when they first play, they're about themselves, right? They've always been the man. They've dominated competition. But now they're in the NBA and they're young and they're making some money, but you know, they're thinking about themselves. They're thinking about their contract, getting that money. You know, they're young. They're not thinking about a family, no responsibilities. But a lot of the young players are put on the worst teams. That's the way the NBA works. So now they're losing for their first time in their life. And as a rapper, that's what you go through a lot. As much as you see rappers winning, rappers go through a lot of losses, a lot of failures. They have to really grind their way to the top. And so for me, it was like I started to win myself, and I've taken trips by myself. Or because I do so many shows in schools, I do a lot of things by myself, or maybe just with one or two other people. And that's cool. But I like it when I'm surrounded by like a crew, you know, like it just feels good, like the whole crew rolling. So I was like, and to take it back to that basketball reference, there's a lot of guys who will be in the league for several years, and then they say, money's not the main motivation for me. Stats aren't the main motivation for me. Touches aren't the main motivation for me. That football reference, right? So, but the main thing for me is winning. And to me, that's my main thing now, is I want to win. I want to be successful as a team, and I just want to be part of it. So some nights that could mean I'm going in and killing it. Some nights it can mean I'm just popping in for a second. But we're each playing our role, each playing our position. It makes me think of one of the dominant teams when I was growing up is the Chicago Bulls. And the great thing about the Bulls is they each had their position. You know, Michael was the best all-around player. Scotty was the next best, the best number 2 player and a great defender and just could do everything. All-around player, I guess is the best way to say it. Rodman, best rebounder. Kukoc, best 6-man. Steve Kerr, best 3-point shooter. Phil Jackson, best coach. So that's a team, right? So each was the greatest at what they do. And I think being an artist is about finding your niche and being the greatest at what you do. Okay? So now I'm like, I just want a ring. And I like to look around and be with my team and scream out, we did it. We did it. Yeah. And I give a lot of speeches too when I'm around my team. But it's true. It's just I want to be around my team and celebrate. So then I was like, the hook needs a second part. And so when you think about celebrating, when you think about winning the championship, you think about champagne. However, we don't just drink champagne. We drink that Prosecco. So I'm like, let's get a bottle of Prosecco. But then I'm like, nah, let's get a dozen. Shout out to my man Rob Lewis, the biggest bottle popper that I seen, that he just knows how to celebrate in the right way. So now I got the hook, right? So I got the beat, got the concept, got the hook. And to me, when I get those 3 things checked off and I'm feeling good about them, I'm like, this could be a good song. At least for me it is, and hopefully for you. Because to me the verses, I'm a rapper. Like, I can write a verse. That's the fun part for me. So I start out the verse by talking about, I never claim to be the greatest, because it always sounds better when someone else says it. And what I mean by that is, I know in hip-hop we say, I'm the best, I'm the greatest of all time. But the truth is, the best people are the ones that don't always have to say it. They might be cocky on the mic, they might be the cocky guy on the mic, but when you meet them, they're actually the most humble person. And that when somebody else is like, yo, this guy, he's the greatest. Those are the type of people that usually are the best, and those are the people I gravitate to because they have good energy too. So that's one of my main messages there. Second message I'll say in that verse is I'm talking about Canada. I'm talking about the grind. I'm saying how no, like, you gotta understand, like, nowadays people are like, oh, Toronto, that's the hot spot, you know, shutting out Canada right there. But Drake wasn't around when I was coming up. The Weeknd wasn't here. Bieber wasn't here. Shawn Mendes, Alicia Cara, like, the list goes on. Like, now you're seeing a lot of big success stories. But people were like, it's only gonna happen on the ice. That's my hockey impersonation. But people said it would never happen in rap. So now people are turning their attention. And for me, I'm saying we because it's a shout out to the rappers that I know that have been grinding since the 90s. And I love how these guys, they stay fresh because they still love hip hop. They putting it out, they doing it. And it's great to see them have their successes because I feel that's a we did it as well. Like, we helped build this scene in Toronto and in Canada. And so that's what I'm getting at too. We did it. And I guess the final thing I'll say when it comes to the lyrics is the third verse, because I'm saying I'm not trying to be a king. I'd rather be a pharaoh. And that whole concept right there too is a big nod to KRS-One. So, and Pharoahe Monch, and I met those guys for the first time, both together, I should say. I met those guys on the same day, back in the day, right? And what KRS has always said was, you don't want to be a king because kings can be conquered. And in hip hop, that happens all the time. You can be the man, but you're going to come down at some point. And one day you're not going to be so hot. So KRS-One called himself the teacher. And that's how you can always be here. So I'm saying, you know, a pharaoh that's ancient Egypt. That's a long time. So I'm trying to be here for a long time. I want my words to be here for a long time. But to get back to it, and to really get back to it, I'm saying I'm down in Texas. I go to South by Southwest, and I inject my life into my rhymes, right? So when I was in Texas, I'm with Speed. I'm with Bev. Shout out to Bev Moore. You know, she's a beast on the management tip. And I was making huevos rancheros for breakfast. They never had it. So I'm in the kitchen cooking this up. Then we going out doing it up South by Southwest, which is an incredible experience. I'm going through the border quick because I got that Nexus card. But it's nice to be back home, get in my Lexus, hit these streets, hit that Western Road because that's around my neighborhood. So Drake made Western Road flows, but I'm on my Western Road flows. He's talking about the south part of Western, kind of a rougher part where he grew up at. But I'm saying I'm talking the northern part because I've been in this game 15 years. I'm still here and I'm still doing it. So I'm like 15 years, I'm an OG. I still remember when they told me I can't. I remember when they hated and said, nah, man, there's no way. But I use that as my motivation and my inspiration because they still remember when they told me I can't. Then I touched down in a chopper when I showed up in Cannes. Because when I went out to meet them, I came in a helicopter. I was like, you know, for a music video these days, let's do some cool stuff. So I took my GoPro and I said, my budget is just going to be to rent this helicopter because I've always wanted to do it. I've been out to Cannes like 8 times at that point. So I shot a video called No Traffic in a helicopter. And so to me, it was like, that was a made it moment of we did it. We did it. So that's we did it. And hopefully you've checked out the song. If not, I encourage you to check it out. And now you kind of have a little bit more insight to it. And let me know what you think of it. It's from my new album, which is called Seeds and Dominoes, which is coming out in 2018. And it feels pretty good to wrap it up. And feels good to be just chilling this afternoon. We're going to go make some new music.